Welcome back to Those Are My Thoughts podcast, where we share our thoughts on popular fantasy reads. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Sarah. This is part 2, or if you want to include all the Empyrean series, part 3 of Onyx Storm. So, first episode of Onyx Storm, we did our full book reactions. Holy cow, that was incredible and an emotional roller coaster. And now we are back because we are going to do our voice memo recap. If you've been with us for a couple episodes, you know that Jillian and I read the same book at the same time. And as we're reading, we send each other voice notes every single day about our in the moment thoughts, reactions. So what we're going to listen to here is from the beginning of the book all the way through the end of just our most emotional, ridiculous, even some theories and predictions that turned out really wrong or really right. And then stay through to the end, because then we're going to come back and we're going to chat about popular fan theories, crazy things we've been reading on the internet, what we think about the ending,
our final ratings for the book, and our theories for next book, our personal theories for next book. Very excited to listen to this. If you haven't listened to a voice note recording episode before, this is really fun because it feels like we're reading the book all over again. It's one of my favorite parts about it. Every day that passes, I keep telling Sarah, this book gets better the more time that passes. The more I think about it, the more I'm looking at stuff online. All of the Instagram memes online are making me just appreciate all of the little moments in this book, all the little nuances of Zayden and Violet's relationship, Riddick's comedic relief, of all the pieces are so intricate and well done. And so just bravo, Rebecca Yarros. Like, honestly, like every day that passes, this gets better and better. So I'm excited to relive this.
Me too. My favorite books are the ones like further you get away, the more juicy they get, the more questions I have, the more I want to float back to that universe.
I know.
Okay. This is a 15-minute recap, so sit back, enjoy. Like I said, these are voice memos. They are taken everywhere. They're taken while you're taking care of kids, while we're grocery shopping, in the house, driving. So you'll hear a little bit of everything, but it's going to be fun. Ready?
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Started Onyx Storm. The first time I'm genuinely shocked is page 19. There is a venin with a long silver braid. What? What does this mean? Is Violet venin? What is happening?
I want to know what's going on with Carolyn Ashton, because she's always been on Jack's side. Do we think she's a venin? She gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's crazy to see how much more involved Indarna is right now. We're just not used to getting her so much on the page in the book, so much like dialogue with Indarna. So I'm liking that.
There's already been like 3 times in this book where the word burn is italicized. And then they talk about living flame. So I'm still on Firewatch. Did you see the excerpt of one of the chapters was like, it was a deadly time when the 6 most powerful signets were alive together at the same time. You know what it could be? The king's son, Cam. Maybe it's his signet that's super, super powerful, because in the beginning of the book, in the map, it says that he has still not manifested. That has to be purposeful. There's been a ruby mentioned multiple times. The venin had a ruby in the sword, and now the Duchess of Moraine has a giant ruby hanging around her neck. I'm wondering if this is connected. Interesting.
The moment I'm talking about is the memory sharing, because she's like, is that something you can do? And he's like, I don't know. The thing is, like, he knows for sure when he's channeling from Sigale. Every time she's got power coursing through her when she's wielding, he's like, you were using your power, and all of a sudden I was sharing a memory with you when you were trying to wield for the first time. Then the other 2 times when they've been having sex, and it's been like a major red flag moment. To me, they're 2 different type of intrinsics, and we don't know a memory sharer. That was, to me, it was like, bang, 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 like she's starting to figure it out.
Especially the throne scene. Maybe she can like pull memories from people, also share memories to people. Yeah, I could get on board with it.
Oh my gosh. I loved this chapter. Violet coming into her own, realizing like Zayden's not in charge here anymore. She's clearly the strongest. Like, she is the most powerful writer, the most powerful person there. Her stepping up to the plate. I'm obsessed.
I like seeing that she now identifies as a Naritian and not a Navarian. It's been subtle, but it's there, and it's super powerful. What? Am I reading this correctly? The last time a shadow and lightning wielder fought side by side, they managed to drive the venom back into the Barrens for a few hundred years. This feels like new information. But, like, specifically a shadow and lightning wielder fighting side by side? Who are they? Oh my god. I feel like we're getting so many clues as to, like, what pieces we need to drive back the venom. At this point in the book, I think that Xaden's gonna be a venom for this whole book. I don't see it being hopeful that they find a cure for him before this book is over.
I, in fact, think somebody else that we love dearly will become venom before the end of this book. Maybe Garrick. I don't know. Somebody will be surprised by.
I've had a couple moments thinking, is Violet going to turn venom too? Or is he going to accidentally draw power from her? And it won't kill her, but it's going to hurt her. And that's going to be the new wedge between them. She'll finally realize, oh, I actually, for my safety, can't be around you.
Or, like, what is up with her? Is she already part venom? Like, why does she have the hair the way that it is?
If we are going to give Gain a redemption arc, I really need him to find a girl. Like, I would love for him to be in a Sawyer type situation. Chapter 7 was the first time that I cried when she goes back in the Wardstone chamber and she's remembering her mom and saying that she couldn't save her. I had tears. What the heck? They're just going to leave Samara and go to war. Only the squad?
Garrick is a distance wielder, maybe? She's like, how did you get here so fast? And he's like, oh, no, not important. Don't worry about me. I think Garrick's a distance wielder.
When Garrick and Violet go down in the tornado, literally the tornado knocked out Tarn. Like, that was a really big deal. Who did it? The Theo girl, we're told that she controls lightning. That would have to mean that she has more than one signet if she also was controlling, like, the wind. Unless, is it a glimpse of the future of everything a lightning wielder can do, and she also did that? I'm confused about that. I feel like Xaden and Violet are, like, two brand new characters. It could be the obvious. Xaden is Venom and is trying to figure out, like, do I even have a soul? Am I alive? What's happening? And Violet is kind of like the new hotshot, right? Like, she's the most powerful on campus. Everyone's looking to her, this, that. Where the first two books, she's underestimated so much. And she's constantly trying to figure out, like, no, I can do this. You're right. It's a little bit jarring for me getting back in this story where our two main characters have changed so much.
Also in chapter 14, when Violet says, there's a flash of something cold in his eyes, but it's gone within a single blink. Oh my gosh. We're about to lose Xaden for a little bit.
15 and 16 are my absolute favorites at the moment. The very first time that I'm like, can't stop turning the pages, can't stop reading. Of course, it's because Violet and Xaden are in the same room. I hope this book is going to keep having more of that, because when they're not together, you only have my attention for so long. You know what I mean?
Xaden is the professor. Like, sorry, he's so hot. I feel like this is the Xaden I know. Like, I think you're right, but I feel like they're evolving as characters, and that's a good thing. This Professor Xaden gives me old Xaden vibes. Like, he's shamelessly flirting with Violet while he's handing everyone else their ass, and I'm obsessed.
As soon as it says Professor Ryerson on the page, I honestly, like, no, I was not okay. It's hot. It's really hot. And that's all I have to say. He says, because you're the only one capable of killing me. I think my heart stopped for a second.
Yep, for sure. She's going to have to kill him to cure him. 100%. And someone is going to bring him back to life. That's my prediction.
This is my very first time saying out loud, I think we're starting to get hints of Violet be prepared. What is it going to be? For royalty, to be queen, to be duchess? I don't know, but to be the leader. I don't know if queen makes sense in this world. They do have queens, but I feel like this is the first book from Rebecca that we're starting to get hints. So maybe book 5 ends that way.
Sarah, I agree. I can't believe you waited so long to say this. 2 things happened. Xaden got his official title, and Halden came in the picture. So she was 18 dating a prince, the literal next line to the king.
Xaden and his jealousy. There's so many signs that he's gonna freaking lose control.
The main Venin that's out to get her, the Alder lightning wielding Venin, she's almost like a mirror of Violet. Like, she is Violet's alter ego if Violet was bad, kind of a situation. Are we gonna meet like a shadow wielding Venin? Like, I assume we are.
The Venin with the silver hair, I'm gonna call her Theo. I think she's a relative. I think she is blood related to Violet. Is she her grandma? Is she grandma's sister? Is she like... I think she is related to her somehow.
And was Grady a Venin, you think? Like, he's kind of on Varish's side. He was the one giving the things. Like, I think Grady might have been a Venin as well. Hard to say.
Every time Aura was on page, I audibly wanted to go, boo. She's just the worst. Book 1 and 2 are very much telling us Xaden is the biggest, the baddest. He is the most powerful. He is the strongest. This is the first book where it's like Violet is the most powerful. I'm really loving seeing the transfer of power. We always love to see a strong man put himself second and support his strong woman. So I love that. Really interested to see how it will lead back to royalty.
I'm so scared for Xaden. The way that he is fighting so hard to be himself lets me know, like, there is going to be a hardcore breaking point. And the way that Violet is straight up ignoring that that's going to happen is making me so nervous for her.
I am still under the strong opinion that he will be rescued. I don't think he is going to turn our villain and never be able to come back from it. I do not believe in that world.
He is savable. She will find the cure. Like, there's no point in this whole story if she doesn't find the cure and save him. Like, I don't think he's gonna become Venom, turn bad, and die. Like, I think it's gonna be, like, how could she ever love me after this? Blah, blah, blah. And then we'll get a redemption. He'll come back. They'll come back together, and it will be them in the end together. Oh my gosh. Violet owning that room. Chapter 20, the biggest fuck yous to everybody in the room that deserved a fuck you. And Xaden smirking and being obsessed with her through the whole thing. Halden bowing down to her. Riddick standing up for her. Oh my god, every part of that scene was so good. Queen Ruler, yes, yes, yes.
I am now really happy with how different this book is feeling. First 100 pages, I was really thrown off by it. On page 240, she is giving a dragon egg to Cortland, and it says, the color graduates from the darkest onyx on the bottom to the brightest silvers on the top. Onyx and silver, you think onyx, Xaden, silver, Violet. What if these two somehow have like an origin connection to dragon? Maybe that's where the silver comes from Violet. Everyone's been talking about like, oh, silver comes from Venom, but maybe silver comes from dragons. Could be out there, but also could be something. I stayed up till 1 a.m. reading. I told myself that I was going to go to bed at 11, and then I hit chapter 35. And chapter 35, 36, 37... Oh, of course I was not going to go to bed after reading the words that are on the page in that chapter. It's absolutely the best parts of the book so far.
We're meeting Xaden's mom! I was hoping that was happening this book, and I was hoping she was on the aisles.
Freaking Talia. I did not expect her to show up on the page.
I kind of hope that she comes back in a redemption kind of way for Xaden, because that was just sad.
Yeah, it's not like Xaden needed any more trauma in his life. I am sitting here crying because Riddick is such a good friend. I wasn't expecting this from him.
I feel like Rebecca wrote this book
so that we fall in love with Riddick.
Oh my goodness. She was in his dream. She was in his dream. And I don't think that's the first time. Is that her second signet? Is she a dream walker? Holy crap. She is a dream walker. That is her second signet. Oh my god. And then Xaden says, yeah, it's a form of intrinsic. Oh my god.
I knew in my heart she was some kind of intrinsic. I'm not disappointed, but a little bit.
Chapter 50 ends with, we're under attack. Oh, why do I feel like this book is not going to give me a moment of peace until it's over from here on out?
I just am worried about Xaden, obviously, in general, because, like, I just feel like it's this whole, like, it's kind of like an addict thing where it's like, you can't do this on your own. Like, he's obviously not going to just, like, avoid being Venom forever with pure, like, strength and will. But I want a clear path. Like, I want a, like, what's the goal? Beat the Venom? I don't know.
Also, the second that she's getting dressed and it says that she didn't put her armor on, I'm like, are you kidding me? The one moment you don't put your armor on, is she gonna die? She always has her armor on, and now we're under attack. What the heck?
All I can think is Rebecca made this big deal about Xaden being 73 days without channeling, and he wanted to make it to 76. He's not making it out of this battle without channeling, like 1,000,000,000%. So,
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. 2 chapters, I was not okay. My heart is pounding. I think I held my breath the entire time. Oh, thank God. The dragons showed up. They put the wards up. Oh my God.
why is everybody underestimating the shit out of Ark this whole time? We still have 2 more full books. Obviously, Indarna's not gone forever, but I'm devastated for Violet. That sucks.
Maybe Dane and little Maori, Sloane, are going to be an item. She's kind of hating him. Is she acting that way because she actually really likes him? Looks like Imogen has a second signet.
Oh my God. That ending? Whoa. What?
That cannot be how it ends. Are you kidding me?
All right.
Oh my gosh. That book put me through so much.
I know.
Whoa. I feel like I lived 15 different lives reading this book. First of all, let me just say up front, 5 stars. 5 stars.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a secret.
Like, it can't be anything but, like, somebody recently asked me, like, which of the 3 is my favorite book? And I'm like,
Onyx Storm?
no, I don't know. No.
What are you choosing?
I think someone was like, gun to your head, you can pick only one to reread for the rest of your life. I'm picking the first one. I'm picking Fourth Wing.
I think I would do the same.
It's hard because the ranking are so close to me for even all 3. I loved Iron Flame for so many other reasons. I know people hate on Iron Flame sometimes, but to me, like, some of those moments are like, I was screaming, squealing, all the things at the
Yes.
page. There's so much there that's so incredible. The whole Varish torture scene, the I love you from Xaden, the throne scene, there's so much in that book that I am obsessed with. I can name a million from this book too. To me, it's like the stack rankings are like
Very close.
like it might as well be on the same page. Like, I'm like, I love every version of Violet. I love every version of Xaden we've met. I love what Rebecca has done with every character arc and redemption piece in this series. So I love that we go from hating Dane to being like, oh my God, Dane Azos. I love that. I want that, you know? The ultimate enemies to lovers is Sloane and Dane, and I'm obsessed with it. Like, I'm so excited to get more of them. What scares me the most is we were listening to this, and I was like, Rebecca wrote this book so we'd fall in love with Riddick. I'm scared. I think she's going to kill him.
Oh God, I keep seeing so many theories about this, and it really makes my stomach upset.
Like, she has said it's going to be somebody who we really love is going to die in book 4. She's like, this is a military story, and like the reality of military is that your friends don't come home and people die, and that's how this works, and we're going to lose somebody we really love. And we knew this. We were in for pain when we were reading a military book this whole time, and it's not possible for everyone to come home. And she's like, that's the reality of this. And it's like, oh, but like, we're reading a book, like it's not gonna happen. But I think it's going to be Rhee or Riddick that dies next book. That's my guess. Because she has stated that the reason she killed Liam off
was he was a perfect character.
Because he was a perfect character. And think about how perfect Rhee and Riddick are at this moment. Like, they can't get any better.
Okay, I think I disagree with Riddick being a perfect character. I think I can agree with Rhee being a more perfect character. She's always been an incredible leader. She's always been a natural confident. She's been a good warrior. She's strong. Riddick, I don't fully agree. I think obviously this book was his character development. So I think he now is closer to a perfect character. However, because she took us on that plot development, character development with him, I feel like, you know what I could see happening? Her giving us a last piece for him that like puts the puzzle piece in for him being a perfect character. Maybe he dies like saving Violet or something of an honor piece, something of a sacrificial.
I'm already crying thinking about that.
Same.
No.
But I really wanted to see Riddick with a partner too. I wanted him to have a love story.
I don't think we're going to get a love story from Riddick. Well, I won't say that. I guess I don't know for sure, but to me, he doesn't need one. I think that sounds, I'm not missing that piece for him. For Rhee, her and Tara, I don't know how you say it, but they have not had their like full moment yet to like be together, decide they're together, whatever they want to do. They've still been like hot and cold for a long time. So I don't think there's some finality there to her character where I'm not missing that piece from Riddick, because to me it's funny that he is like so confident, like just the way he is with his relationships and stuff. I get it. And he doesn't give off the vibes like he's missing something in that place in his life. Like he doesn't ever think like Sawyer was actively hitting on Jacinia, or Rhee has her thing with Tara and like how they're like go back and forth. But like Riddick is just like confident there. I'm here. I'm there. I'm for you. Blah, blah, blah. I got my own thing going on. I'm not worried about that. Don't worry about me, Xaden. It wasn't me up there that gave her that lightning strike.
Oh, I loved that part. I love how it turned from my most favorite scene and I'm crying to the point where he's like walking out of the woods with his arm around her like, shit, I can't take it off because then it looks like I did something and I can't keep it here because this is Xaden's woman.
And Xaden's like, no, I know it wasn't big enough of a strike. All of those moments were so funny.
Wait, no, because then Riddick says, he likes like 1, 2, yeah, no, we're not back to making dick jokes yet. Nope, sorry. And he walks away.
Yeah, he's like, I need a minute. I love all of that. But to me, right now, in this moment, Riddick would hit harder as a death. And I think she's looking for that, which I hate.
Here's my brain. I woke up today thinking, whoa, Rhee wasn't really in the book. That was like one of my first thoughts coming to consciousness.
We talked about this, but I think we fell in love with Rhee in book 2 more with her friendship with Violet. And Rhee wasn't in this book at all because she wasn't on Quest Squad. So we didn't get to see a lot of her on the page because she needed to be back being the squad leader. Like there wasn't room for her to be with the rest of the Quest Squad. Because of that, I feel like next book she'll get developed a little bit more. I hope so. I liked seeing her POV chapter as the leader, how she gives orders and things like that. So I do hope we get more of Rhee on the page next book. This is a good question. How do you feel like it's going to be? Like, how much of Xaden do you think we'll get next book or not? Like, do you think it's going to be, because we're in Violet's POV, remember? So like, he was like, don't look for me, whatever. Do you think it's going to be like half the book before we end up seeing Xaden again? What do you think it's going to be? I don't think so, because before we had Onyx Storm, we really speculated about this book like that. And Rebecca gave us both of them almost right away. And I think what I get reminded of in this series is people read these for the romantasy. They read them for Violet and Xaden. I don't think the reader's going to be very happy if you give us half a book before the two of them are having anything steamy, even if it's sending letters to each other, even if it's whatever. So
because of that, maybe we'll get his point of view and that's how we'll stay connected to him.
I'm wondering about that. I'm wondering if we're going to get like a split POV book, Violet's POV and Xaden's POV kind of situation, or multi-split POV. So we're going to get Dane's POV falling in love with Sloane, or whatever we're going to get, where we'll still get the romantasy aspect in there and not like specifically Xaden and Violet maybe. Because we've done 3 full books of Xaden and Violet in their steamy scenes. Like I can see her departing for book 4 into something else. We'll still get scenes, but it won't be of Xaden and Violet.
If the author was going to do it, now would be the time, because we are bought in. We have big feelings about the other characters. If I'm gonna get those scenes from Garrick and Imogen's point of view, like I'm still gonna be excited and eating up whatever's on page. Yeah, especially also Dane and Sloane.
Just getting Imogen and Rhee's point of view at the end of book 3 makes me feel like, was that a prep for book 4 where we're going to get a lot of different people's POVs or a couple of people's different POVs? That's my like kind of gut feeling. Although I will say I do love being in the main FMC's POV. Like I
Me
really
too.
enjoy that. I like being in the main character's POV because I like learning things as they do. It allows the plot twists to me to seem like, I like that we don't know what we don't know because we only know what Violet thinks about. And the plot twists that come at her is like what comes at us. And I think it makes it easier to make the plot twist happen when you're in one person's POV. But
I agree.
I do think it would be also fun to get other characters too. Because like you're saying, I'm not mad to get Imogen and Garrick's POV. I'm not mad to get Dane and Sloane's POV. Like I want to see what's going on with them. I just don't know what book 4 is going to look like. I think I had more of an idea of book 3 than
Onyx
I
Storm.
do of book 4. Yeah.
Well, okay. In every book, this is fantasy, so they always like introduce the question at the beginning and then we go on an adventure to find the answer, right? So I'm sure that the plot is generally going to be, maybe it'll be how to find Xaden, right?
Right.
Which that's what a lot of the fan theories are around.
That poses the question to you.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on with Taryn and Scale, or Scale in general? I have seen a fan theory online that's like when she wakes up, right, in Erasia, and she figures out that Imogen wiped her memory and she got married to Xaden, she can't reach for Taryn because Taryn's sleeping. And
Darna says he needs a fortnight of rest or something. Oh, he needs a cycle of rest to recover. Recover from what? She says. And then she starts to remember some things. But Taryn has never needed a long time.
Recover from what? That's what is the fan theories I've seen online are that him and Scale broke their bond, their mating bond, something along those lines. Or, you know, so like, is that going to allow, like their broken mating bond might allow Xaden to not be with Violet, you know, because right now
I have an idea.
They have to be together every 3 days. That's been this whole thing, this whole book, until the mating bond breaks, and now they don't have to be together. And he says, don't look for me. He couldn't say that if Sigale had to be with Taryn in 3 days.
I didn't think of that part, because that has been the reason that they keep coming back together for 3 books. But if you take that away...
That's the only reason we keep getting them together, is because they have to be together because Taryn and Sigale, that's their whole thing. He's got to go with her to the Isles because of Taryn and Sigale. It's all got to be about Taryn and Sigale.
And if we had another book of that, it would feel too repetitive. So you got to take away that element. This is a strong theory.
Yeah, I actually do believe in that one, which breaks my heart for Taryn. And I also wonder, I hate to say anything about Taryn not being alive, but he scares me. He scares me because he's a perfect character too. I think Taryn's going to not make it out of this series alive.
And she has 2 dragons.
So she won't die. That's the whole thing. I don't know. And if, I don't know. I don't know. But the whole thing is like the chain reaction, right? So Taryn dies, does Sigale die? That's the question. But if their mating bond is broken, then no, they won't die.
No. And I could see this being a huge, if that were to happen, because obviously Violet would have been aware that Taryn and Sigale's mating bond was broken. That would, think of how the bond breaking of her and Adarna hurt her. Just seeing that, and then she would feel and then not feel and whatever. I feel like that would be enough for her to turn to Imogen and be like, when this is over, wipe my memory. That to me, and then you add on top of it that he probably said goodbye to her, Xaden probably said goodbye to her. I feel like those are enough huge emotional things for a breaking point. Because that's a big question. What was the breaking point as to why Violet asked Imogen to wipe her memory?
Yeah, that's a good question. The other fan theory I've seen is that Dane will end up showing her, or we'll see, like, because Dane can see memories and share memories too, I think, as well. There's been fan theories that Dane will be resharing the memory if she gets to a certain point where she's like, I need to remember what happened.
So expanding that, well, the one I saw was that taking from the moment where Sloane touches him using the like siphoning power to save Mira, and she says, somebody like you should not have this much power. So take that moment and then take that Imogen's signet is taking away memories. The theory was that Dane's signet will be able to counteract Imogen's signet.
Exactly.
So he'll kind of be the medicine to give back what was lost.
Yes, I believe that. The question is if Violet wants that or not. We'll see. But I do think we will end up getting a picture of what happened in those 12 hours. I do think we will get a clearer picture eventually about what happened in those 12 hours. But I think we'll spend a chunk of the book being like either not wanting to remember or trying to piece back the pieces of what that was or whatever it might be.
The fact that this is where we're at and this is book 3 and our two main characters are separated and now we're going to do a journey of how to get back together and how to save this guy tells me that I don't think we get resolution until last book. There's 2 more books left. I think maybe we start seeing a light at the end of the tunnel this book, but I don't think, next book, book 4. I don't think book 4 ends with, oh my god, Zayden's not a Venom anymore and now we are together. The only way I could see that is if he's not a Venom anymore, but the world has turned to shit and they're all going to die anyways. Because there has to be something for book 5.
Right. No, my hope, Rebecca, listen up. I have some thoughts. No, my hope would be that they do rescue and save Xaden next book, and then together they have to figure out how to fight the rest of the Venom in book 5. So like that would be my hope, I guess, is like she spends book 4 actually figuring out a cure, actually like, working with, I don't know, the Irids or whatever it might be to figure out the cure for Venom actually. And then she fixes Xaden.
Okay.
And then Xaden and her and the crew go save Navarre or the continent or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I really do think this series ends with the concept that was introduced in this book. I really do think that book 5 ends with peace has been restored to the land. Venom no longer exists. Peace is restored.
Yes, I agree. The only thing that gives me pause is the whole thing that we've been introduced from literally the first thing you could ever read in this entire series, which is that Jasenia is recording it.
I saw a fan ask her in the book tour for Onyx Storm, can you give us insight as to like why all of the things say recovered correspondence? And I mean, she's always so cryptic when she answers. She's so good at that. Rebecca said something like, yep, there's a reason. Next question. That was it. And I was like, oh God.
I'm scared that Xaden and Violet aren't coming out of this whole thing, but I do believe that peace will be restored to Navarre. I do believe that there will be good people like Jasenia, whoever else may be, that do come out of this book. But I am scared for Xaden and Violet. And I'm scared for Taryn. And I'm scared for Sigale. The 4 of them, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with you. But I do think they will come back together as a couple before they perish eventually.
So the line about the last time a lightning wielder and a shadow wielder fought together, they pushed the Venom back. Okay, so immediately you and I voice memoed, and for me that had said like, okay, does she turn Venom? And they kind of like fight on one side together. But what do you think about this? Do you think it means that the lightning wielder and the shadow wielder are going to fight against each other, and this is why we're going to be able to push the Venom back? Because now we have one on one side and one on the other side, fully. Or do you think they're both working towards the same purpose, but they're both alive, they both exist? Because I guess I'm asking, do you still think that there is a plot chance that she turns Venom?
I do think there's a plot chance she turns venom because they've been building up to that. You're going to turn, you're going to turn, you're going to turn. Like,
Yeah.
everybody keeps saying that to her. Any venom keeps saying, like, no, you will turn. I just figure out the reason.
For
is it
love.
this? Is it that? Yeah, right. I mean, even Theophany had, like, really figured out, like, oh, I'll go attack these people because you'll do anything to save these people. And it took everything in Violet to be like, I have to stick to what I said I was going to do and trust that other people will make it out of this alive. I think that is her weakness. And maybe she gets over that, but I do think there's a chance that she turns. I don't know. I wouldn't say that is my belief, but I will say I believe that can happen.
I agree. I was very upset that Theophany died before we got answers from her. Anytime she had lines in the book, she was saying, I know what you want to know. Just ask me just ask me the question. And she dies before they really get any dialogue. The only info dump she gives us is that she's a storm wielder and she is the balance to Lilith.
They're leaving room for, I think, what is going to be the Naolin situation to pop in for the next couple books.
Which I freaking can't wait. Oh, that was another thing that a fan asked her in the book tour. And they said something like, can you give us anything about Brennan's and Naolin's relationship? And she said, no. Next question.
Bye. The popular fan theory there is that Brennan will turn for Naolin, maybe. That's when Brennan will become bad or whatever it might be.
I don't think Brennan's becoming bad. I just think that Brennan knows. And he's not telling us. I think he knows what's up with Naolin. I think he knows the answer, knows the situation.
To me, we have all figured out, like, Naolin's obviously a venom because the way that they say it, the crypticness around it, to me, it's like, I would be shocked if we just never hear about Naolin again.
Oh, that won't happen.
That's just not, it's impossible. He's a venom. Like, he gave up everything to save Brennan. And I do believe that he went venom. And the question is, like, is this why the mating bond gets broken with Taryn and Sigil? Because Sigil doesn't leave Xaden when he turns venom. And does she turn venom? I don't know.
What happens to a dragon?
Well, that's a good question because we talk about Varish. So something I think we didn't talk about last episode or whatever, and this was kind of brought to my attention recently, was we were talking about, like, who was venom or not venom, and meaning they have to be lower if they don't have, red veins on their eyes, whatever, they're lower. But then Jack Barlow at the very beginning says, essentially the thread runs, like, everyone knows where the initiates and ASIMs are, right? The newer ones too. Like, there's, like, this thread that runs where, like, the sages know where they are, kind of situation. But he specifically says the assembly hall could be packed full of mavens and sages, and you wouldn't know, or would I. We would have no idea. And so sages and mavens don't show all the time. So the question is, because he said that, he was like, I wouldn't know about it and neither would you. They have to be able to hide it if they are a sage or a maven. And so I believe Varish was a sage or a maven because he was clearly venom. To me, it's like he was so obviously venom.
I think so.
I just think, like, we're going to find more people. Like, we already found out at the end of this book that Panchak was. The question is Father Atos.
Father Atos
had many sons. And Dane was one of them. No, but the question is he who is, like, is Carr? I don't know. Like, who is?
Okay, lead this into all the people who believe that Garrick and Bodhi turned venom.
Okay, because at the very end, it stated that a brother who knows what's been going on the last 5 months, why did he turn? I can't believe he turned. My brother turned. My gut and the obvious answer is Bodhi. To me, Bodhi. But this is obvious answer. So, like,
Bodhi is venom and is the brother that's being talked about? That's your theory?
Yeah. And I do think Garrick is working. Like, I think you're right. Like, I think Bodhi and Garrick would do anything for Xaden. So if he asked a favor of either of them, they would do it in a heartbeat. Same with Imogen, obviously. She was there. She knows what happened in the last 12 hours of the book. I think that we'll talk about the dragon eggs in a minute, what I believe Garrick was doing with the dragon eggs. But I don't think Garrick turned venom. I believe it was Bodhi who turned venom. Part of the reason he had to give Tirandor to Violet, and she has to run it because it was going to naturally go to Bodhi otherwise. That
Mhm.
was the whole point. It was going to go to Bodhi, and now it's going to be Violet's. I would say my gut says Bodhi, but she could be throwing us off by being purposely vague there because there's all these people missing at the end of the book. So I won't take Garrick off the table, but to me, he specifically says, I don't know.
Okay, I want to read you this because I feel like I missed it. It's Xaden's point of view, chapter 65. And Panchek, he's talking to Berwin. Panchek says, "Put those away. We both know you're not going to hurt me." Panchek reaches for the net over his dragon. "I'm the only one who can give you access to your son."
Yes.
That's italicized. And then it says, "I have another." Berwin stabs deep between the dragon's scales and it desiccates.
Yes. Okay, the theory I've heard about the Alihulta dagger killing dragons as well is that they're strong enough to kill venom and the power within them. They're strong enough to kill dragons the same way, just that nobody ever tested that theory before. Like they had no idea because no rider would turn on their dragon like that. You know what I mean? No one else is killing dragons like that. So it's not been seen on page until this moment that we've seen an alloy hilted dagger with the power in it to kill a dragon. But the whole sun situation, no idea. I don't even have a theory for that. I'm like, I don't know.
I have a son and I have another.
Another son?
That's what he says. That's his answer to him saying, "I'm the only one that can give you access to your son." The answer is, "I have another."
Who? Who is Berwin?
What? Okay. Xaden's father.
Fen died. I believe Fen is dead. I believe Fen is dead.
And Rebecca's told us that all of Violet's parents are dead. Liam is dead.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting a lot of, and this is something she said in her thing, like, if it's purposely vague, she's not like bringing a lot of people back from the dead. Some people can be assumed dead, like Brennan or Naolin or whatever. It's so vague around it that like it's not. But I think that Fen is dead. I think that like her dad is dead. She's like, you guys, like, they're dead. Because people are like, maybe it's Violet's dad. And she's confirming, like, it's not. That begs the question, who and whose sons are at Basgiath, and who don't we know of their parents yet? And, you know, who could this have to do with? And I don't have a theory now.
Who is Berwin is the question, because then in Xaden's point of view, he's saying like, I wish I could kill him. I know I can't, but also I don't want to because he's the only one who has the answers that I need.
Yeah. I think Garrick took the dragon eggs to the Isles because he's a distance wielder.
Yeah. And I believe the dragon eggs are brought back up and stolen because of the one island we went to that said, we'll help you, but we want dragon eggs.
I agree. I think he's going to try to get more help for Violet, and I think that Xaden asked him to do that. Like,
completely agree.
And I think, I can't remember, they said what dragon eggs were in the hatchling ground. Something said there was black dragon eggs there, but I don't know for sure because we were like, maybe it's one of each. But I think it stated at one point that it's black dragon eggs that are in the hatchling ground. So I don't know. Are they Terran's babies and Sigil's babies that got taken too?
Oh, God.
I know. But then I did see an interview from Rebecca. Okay, how many times can we say that? Sorry, watch all the interviews. Like, but I saw an interview from her, and somebody asked her, "Oh, would Terran and Sigil ever have babies?" And she said, "I think they would if it was a more stable environment." So I don't know that it's Terran and Sigil's because she wasn't like, "Wouldn't you like to know?" She was like, "I think they would later. Like, I think they would as dragons." Like talking about their like future life or outside of this craziness. I think she's like, I don't think they would actively be procreating during this psychopathic time.
To add to that, I think the exact same answer, she also said Violet and Xaden, because people have a big theory that Violet's pregnant right now.
God, I hope not. God, I hope not.
Her answer was basically like, no, I don't think they would have a baby right now. Another one that I want to debunk just while we're here, every time I get on social media, I swear to God, the theory that comes up on my page is people saying, wait, but who is Violet married to? Is she married to Bodhi? I'm like, Wait, guys, did we not read the book? So just to clear things up, I just want us to hear that sentence again. Brennan's talking to Violet, and she says, in quotations from Brennan, "It's an official blessing of your legal binding marriage," Brennan whispers, stunned, then quickly rolls the parchment. "By the head priestess of Dune's temple." Violet says, "To Xaden?" Gravity bends, warping everything I thought I knew into whatever the reality is. Brennan nods.
Okay, confirmed. By the way, the idea that Xaden and Violet wouldn't be together after this book and that she's going to get together with Bodhi instead.
Sorry.
It's so dumb. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I did see when someone was like, who else is excited to see Bodhi and Violet together? I was like, no one?
Are we
don't know.
reading the same book?
I'm like, God, not me. I sure hope not. I mean, I want Bodhi to have his own. I hope we get more of Bodhi, but I want him to have his own thing. I don't want him to be with Violet. Also, how gross. Like, that's basically his brother. Like, no, thank you.
Also, there was a part in this book where she was saying, it was when he was Professor Ryerson, right? And she was saying, like, maybe I chose the wrong cousin or something. And before she can finish the sentence, he's like, I swear to God, shut up.
No, that would literally never happen. I think there's two more main things I want to talk about in this episode. One is the compass.
Yep, I want to talk about that.
And the other is her second signet and what is going to happen with that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
To me and to a lot of other people, her second signet was like, oh, wow, cool. Oh, yeah, great. Like, I can't wait to see what happens there. But there's two things that happen. One, when she's on the Isles and before she knows what her second signet is, the Irids tell Andarna, you gave her something much more dangerous, much more powerful than the lightning wielding, didn't you? Then we find out what it is, and it's like, is this more powerful? Is this more dangerous? It doesn't feel like it off the bat. I want to know, is that all she can do with this? Or what is it going to evolve into? Her power, her strength in walking into people's dreams, acknowledging not just like how she has been doing accidentally, like is she going to be able to manipulate those dreams? Is she going to be able to kind of in some way like manipulate what people are thinking? Because dreams are so interesting to me because I can have the craziest dream in the world, wake up and be like, wow, that wasn't real, move on with my life. So to me, like, how is that going to affect things long term? Why is it dangerous? Because right now I'm not seeing where that might be dangerous on the page.
I think it could be dangerous for the enemy. Xaden had said something like, everyone's at their most vulnerable when they're sleeping, even Venin. So I think it could be a tactic against enemy, not
But
so
how?
much she would need to be close by. I don't know.
But also, how is that a tactic against them, like to infiltrate their dreams?
Oh, because sometimes you give away like your truest feelings or thoughts or wonders during
so
the dream.
She would be able to kind of gather more information potentially.
Yeah, I think so. You touched on a note that had me thinking. I've seen a couple people chat about it, but when the Irid tells Andarna, you gave her something far more dangerous. The word danger is normally used to describe Violet. She is violence. She is danger. She is blah, blah, blah. I feel like it's another nod of what we kind of already think we know of Violet is the answer. I just really liked that, like, Andarna throws her, and then the Irid telling us, oh, you gave her something more dangerous, and Xaden has labeled her as violence. So I just I'm excited to see whenever that gets revealed of what that is.
Yeah, I agree.
The compass?
Yeah, the compass. I don't think Rebecca does anything accidentally. So
Nope.
She got the compass from Zinal, which I think will come back. She made a lot of those seem really insignificant and kind of funny or whatever. It's like, oh, Violet gets compass, like whatever. But I don't think the goddess or god of luck does anything accidental. You know what I mean? So I believe there's a reason for that compass. You were saying that multiple times in the book.
Well, only one I can remember.
Okay.
It's when I want to say it's a scene where they've been separated for a moment and he comes back. I think maybe it's the first time like they're going to actually have sex because he realizes it's like the day 73 thing. She essentially sees him, and don't quote me, but it's something like, he is my compass. Everything pulls north when I see him. Something, something, something. You can't have Rebecca give her a compass and then have her use the words compass to describe her love.
Yeah.
So I think absolutely the compass will be key to finding Xaden in the next book.
I agree. I think so too. That's going to come back around. It's like, oh, this is broken. No, it's not. I think that is a very specific compass doing very specific things. And that is also the only isle that gave them help, really. I don't know. We'll see. I do think that'll come back around. I don't really have a good theory for it, but my guess is like it will lead them to Xaden or the answer they need or whatever it might be. I do think it'll come back around where she's going to realize that there is a purpose to that compass, whatever it might be. But I think that's all of my future theories. Oh, sorry. No, I have one more. I think Arik is going to be king before the end of the series, and I think
Yes.
Halden will die.
Yes.
Great.
No rebuttal. Yes.
Correct. That's going to happen. That's what I think, and I'm excited to get more of Arik. Holy cow. I love Arik.
I think Kat will fall in line. Oh, but that means Serena has to die. No. Never mind. Take it back. Take it back.
They do keep saying that, though. There's a lot on page foreshadowing about Kat taking over because we've gotten not a lot of Serena, and there's been this mirror of Mira and Serena. And when we thought, like, so that's like Kat and Violet's connection. Like, the only thing they bond over is their older sisters being okay. When it was like Mira wasn't going to be okay this book, but then she ended up getting saved by Brennan, Sloane, whatever, Dane, I don't know. Whenever she ended up getting saved, I was like, okay, I think Mira is safe for the rest of the series. I don't think she's going to come back to a place where we're worried about Mira again in this big moment. Like, this was Mira's big moment and she got saved. I think it's like how I think Sawyer isn't going to die the rest of the series. Like, he already had his scary moment where we all were worried if he was going to die. I can see Serena dying. And because there's so much talk about Kat's like place in line for the throne, I can absolutely see her being put in that position.
I'm back. I can see it too.
We didn't get almost any of Serena this book. I do think we will get back to those forces coming back together to fight. Maybe it won't be book 4. Maybe it'll be book 5. I don't know. To end up fighting and, whatever. But I could see book 5 before Serena dies. And then like us maybe getting more of her next book. And then book 5, Serena dying and Kat ending the book, taking over Poor Meal.
It makes sense. All the characters we've been introduced to going into power. It makes sense. The next books that we're covering are One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. So that's a duology by Rachel Gillig. We love these books so much. If you are listening to us right now and you haven't read those, go read those. Highly recommend.
Well, please read along with us. So when the first episode comes out, it'll be chapters 1 through 20 of One Dark Window. So you will get our raw reactions to the beginning of the book of One Dark Window, what we think is going to happen in the rest of the book. If you haven't read it, read along with us. Read the first 20 chapters, listen to our first episode, then read the last half, listen to the second episode, see if you got right what we got right. I think it could be really fun, and I hope you guys enjoy that style. So if you're looking for your next book to read it with us,
Yes.
I'm excited. We adored book 1. I started book 2 a couple days ago, and already I'm like, so read along with us the next couple weeks and we'll see what's next.
If we miss anything that you are dying to talk about with Onyx Storm, just jump on Instagram or email us and talk to us. Tell us your thoughts. We are the kind of people that could jump on these topics all day, every day, and just talk for hours.
If you see theories online, videos online, DM them to us. We want to see them. I want to see those theories. Please share, unless it's about Violet getting pregnant. Don't send me that theory. I don't want to hear it.
Or that she's not married to Xaden. Come on, people.
We don't need those. But anything else, we're down to see. If you believe it, maybe we believe it. So definitely send those out. But those are my thoughts.
Those are my thoughts.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening. We also want to be your long-distance book bestie. You can find this podcast on all your favorite listening platforms. You can watch us on YouTube at Those Are My Thoughts Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, My Thoughts Pod, on TikTok, mythoughts.pod.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and book recommendations. Email us at thosearemythoughtspod@gmail.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. We love you. See you next time. Bye.